front bar modifications are now done thanks to Minifab. I've dropped the bar off to Novatech to get it colour coded the same shelter green as the truck. I can't wait to show you how good it turned out. Welcome to the darkness. So we're currently in the shed. It's finally been cladded. Got the F truck in here, so all the insulation's done now. The roller doors are on. We've still got to get power here in the shed, but yeah, super excited to now have somewhere large enough that I can actually fit the trucks, both the F truck and the Raptor, and a few other toys that are going to be making their way into here as well. So we've got some things to do to the F truck this morning. The front bar is now back from paint, which is super exciting. So I've got some bolts here from the boys at the paint shop. I'm going to get this thing put back together. So here is the front bar. Can't really tell because it's pretty dark in here. I haven't got power in this shed at the moment yet, so that's something we've still got to do. But it's all nicely painted. It's a little bit dusty from being in the paint shop. It's got sanding dust and stuff over it, but it's going to look sweet when it's all put back together. So right now I'm going to bolt this center section back into the middle. Boys have given me the bolts just here from when they pulled it apart. Got our hoop on there now with our brackets there for the Baja Designs lights. I just put it upside down. Sure did. Idiot. Oh, this is scary. Got me Chinese safety boots on. What do you reckon? Bit hard to tell the colour right now until we actually get it on the truck and get it out in the sun, but I'm pretty stoked. Do need to get the winch put in on the cradle just there, so thinking about getting a worn winch for the big girl. Okay, so I can't really help myself, so I've gone and gotten all the Baja lights out of the other shed where I've had them stored now for a little while, so I had to get the lights, modify the bar, make sure they would fit on the bar, and yeah, it was a long process to make sure that they would actually fit on the bar, and we had to mock them up and everything before paint and things like that. So I have had them sitting around for a while, but we do have the LP6s, and if you've seen the last episode, you can roast me in the comments that I did actually drop this light on the ground when I was trying to film at the same time. But let's sit this LP6 on the front of the bar and see how good this thing looks against the green. So the LP6s are going to mount on the side of the bar just there. I can't wait to get these things fitted up. And what we've done with the mounting, we've actually slightly tweaked and turned the mounts so the LP6s will actually like kick off to the side rather than point straight forward. So that will help with a lot of off-road tracks and things like that, especially running at night, being able to see off into the bushes and stuff and off into the side of the road there. So, and then the LP9 Pros are going to mount in the dead center of the bar. I don't want to drop this again. It will mount just there, and then the other two will go beside it. But these LP9s and the LP6s are such a cool looking light. So we have 3 of the LP9s and 2 of the amber LP6s to go on the front bar here from Baja Designs. And then we also do have their smaller Squadron Sports, same as what I do have up on the side of the roof rack on the F truck, which is another thing. So these Squadrons will go down in the front bumper in here like that. Which reminds me, I haven't yet showed you the roof rack on the F truck. So this is the backbone here, F-Tech by X Country. It's in this textured black color. You do have 4 slots along the top for your top rails, and it mounts in 3 positions into the roof. So you drill through the roof and mount it. So this is for the 99 to 16 F250s, F350s. And then we've had this front section here flared out forward, so that way you can actually attach the Baja Design light bar. You'll be able to drill your own here, or if you have a different light bar, you'll be able to drill your own holes here or mount directly from the top. So give you the top view here, how it looks from the top. So you'll have cross rails that'll run from here across the other side, but you can mount anything you want to the top of this. If you wanted to put a platform up there, you can do that, but it's designed to be nice and minimalistic, be able to run a light bar on the front. So this is the Baja Designs linkable light bar that I'm going to be fitting across the top of the backbone system. So this will be curved across the top of the windscreen, but we're designed it leaving the backbone actually blank, so that way you can pretty much mount any light bar you wish up there, drill your own holes. And ta-da, roof rack on the F-Truck. So long story short, I didn't want to go with anything on the market for the F-Truck because it would have had to been modified to fit the F-Truck. Because of this year model, there is absolutely nothing on the market, and everything that is has been discontinued in the US, so I couldn't get anything. So X-Country has come to the party, and we've actually made this new roof rack, F-Tech by X-Country, which is going to be for the 99 to 16 F250s, and then we're also going to do one for the 17s up to current model, so for the new aluminium cabs as well. So with the roof rack, I didn't want to go with a platform. I wanted a new design designed by myself and X-Country. So this is the rack that we have come up with, where it just has these extrusions that run across the roof. I'm waiting for my custom, I've got some custom billet sections going in here that are being machined up at the moment for the Baja Designs light bar that's going to go across here, just because of the way they're designed at each end. So I've got some custom billet sections going in here to bolt the light bar into. But got Starlink up on the roof again, so that's the same one I had on there last time. But yeah, just a very minimalist rack. And we do have the carbon PPF up here. Looks absolutely awesome. It's got a very deep gloss to it, so it looks pretty sweet. And purposely haven't done any sort of cutout hole here, so that way you can put whatever light bar you want across here. You just have to make it suit. Obviously the width of the rack is the width of the rack, so you'll just have to make adjustments to fit whatever you want. But those billet sections I might make available on my website if you want to run that light bar here in the future. So that is the new F-Tech by X-Country roof rack. Be available soon. Working on these with the guys from X-Country to get some kits available, and I'll let you know when they're available. But minimalist rack. I didn't want a big heavy rack with a big platform like I did before. Trying to reduce weight on the F-Truck is what I've been trying to do where I can without jeopardizing functionality at the same time. And I think this was a big place that I could do that, because at the end of the day, I didn't really have anything up here other than the Starlink and every now and again my daughter's push bike. So minimalize everything on the rack here, and I think it turned out really, really good. So it's about a week later and I really can't decide on which winch I actually want to buy. I'm finding it really hard with some of the prices of these winches compared to one that I've actually got out in the weather every single day. It cost me $600 that I use on my plant trailer. I'm struggling to justify these $3,000-$4,000 winches, and some of the worn prices were just astronomical. For the amount of times that I ever used the winch, I don't know if I can justify spending as much as what some of these winches are going to cost me. I'm thinking of probably spending around the sort of $2,000 mark on a winch, and I've got a couple that I've lined up but I want to do a bit more research on. So just after having a winch on my plant trailer for the last 7 years, I don't look after it. It sits out in the weather every single day and it works like a champ. I really struggle to justify the prices of some of these winches. So with that being said, what I'm going to be doing today is getting on to fitting up the Baja Design lights. I think I can get these lights on the bar, even though it's not currently fitted to the truck yet, get these fitted up onto the bar, and then I'm going to use the crane that I've got here now in the shed to actually lift up the bar and help me assist fit this thing once I do decide on a winch. So we do have this suite of Baja Design lights here going on the front bar. I've just now fitted up the LP9s here in the center. And the best thing is that when we actually did do the brackets, I've just put some felt tape on this just to stop it scratching. But with this, I actually can adjust the lights because of the way Baja have the bracket. You can actually adjust these lights. So when we welded these brackets on, we actually angled them, but I can actually turn this light to whatever direction I want, and that way I can manipulate it if I want it to shoot off to the side of the road a bit more or dead straight down the center of the road. I have that adjustment ability in the bottom of the bracket there, which is really, really nice. Lights are now on. Just realised that I do need 4 more squadrons for the wings for on this side and on this side. I didn't realise there was mounting sections in here, and I've used the other squadrons already on the F truck. So I've hit the boys up Baja. See if we can get some more squadrons to fit into here. I'll probably get a amber and a clear to go into this section here. But they mount super tidy, super clean in there. Bar's a bit dusty. Then we've got the LP6s and the 3 LP9s. And as you can see, I've kind of got them radiused, so that way they're not all dead straight, so that way that I am going to get the best lighting spread by having them all kind of curved that way. Okay, so we've got the goods here from Baja Designs. Everything for Baja Designs will be linked in the description if you guys want to get some lights. So got little Squadron Sports here. They're going to be going down in the bottom of the bar there. These should be the same. Yep. So we've got 2 sets of them and some stickers. It's always sick when you get stickers.
The words hit hard. Follow my gut, I follow my heart. Don't care for the dons in charge. Greatness only, living that you want is law.
So Trev came to visit and hang out last weekend, and we spent some time on the F truck just sort of mocking things up. The bar's not mounted as of such, like the bolts are in it, but it's not actually mounted because we're trying to work out clearances and stuff for the lights. So I wanted it to be as close as possible and as flush as possible. But we've pushed it in, and I need to bring it out probably like 5 mil, maybe 8 mil, bring the bar off the grill here a little bit more. So this bar does come with shims, but they weren't quite wide enough. So I've got some other ones getting made right now, and they're going to get powder coated. Then we can just shim the bar out slightly off the chassis. So that's happening, but we do have it sort of mocked up here. Looks pretty bloody awesome. And I think something just showed up for the roof rack. So let's check out this bunch of packages that showed up this week. So these are the custom brackets that I had machined up for the XL linkable. Because of this tapered section here on my roof rack, how that my roof rack design angles in, I had to get these made up to fit the XL. So here is the other version of it. And here's my version with that angled taper now on the side instead of being just straight 90 degrees. So, and I've got another piece in here as well. So here's the XL linkable that's going to go across the roof rack. You can see these are the new brackets that I've had custom made to fit the side profile of the bracket, and then I've got these washers here that will sit 90 degrees in between the rail up there. So this light bar will be going up on top of the roof on the F truck. But yeah, the standard ones are just sort of 90 degrees like the center ones there, but I did have to get these ones made for the outside so they'd fit that side profile, then put 2 bolts in there. I've just drilled a couple of holes in the rack, and why I didn't have these holes fitted sort of from factory or from when it was manufactured was because if other people want to put different light bars across this and put their own brackets in here, they've got this whole blank area to be able to play with, and also a tab up on top to be able to add whatever kind of lights they want to add to the front of that rack. So I took the truck out over Easter for a bit of a shakedown trip just to iron out a few bugs and just see how the kind of new setup's going. I'm going to have to replace both the batteries underneath the bonnet here, because the reason why I haven't replaced them already is because I knew the truck would be sitting for a long time. So until I was going to start driving it again, there was no point in replacing the start batteries under the bonnet. I might as well just leave these ones in here and just jump start it when I need to move it. But they've been in there for about 3 years and they are cooked, which is, I'm going to show you something today that I've had for a long time. They sent it to me with no obligations to make any sort of video about it, but I think the amount of times I've used it, not only on my vehicles, but on machinery and stuff at work, this jump starter that I'm going to show you now is absolutely brilliant. So Topdon, the JS3000, this isn't a sponsored segment of the video. Again, they sent me this probably 2.5, 3 years ago, under no obligation to do anything with it other than just use it. And I've posted a few things to Instagram over those couple of years, but this thing has been absolutely awesome for jump starting stuff around the farm, at work, the vehicles as well, especially the F truck. And I've had a lot of these power pack jump start things over the years, and the rest of them have all died. This is still going strong. It cranks over almost anything that I hook it up to, as long as it's 12 volt. And I just a little shout out to Topdon. This thing is absolutely awesome. So what I'll do is I'll put a link in the description if you just want to check these out. But this has probably been the best jump starter that I've ever had, and I just want to give them a shout out and yeah, just say thank you for sending me this out there those few years ago, and I use it all the time. So just gonna hook it up here. But yeah, these batteries in the F truck have been in here for a long time, and unfortunately they do need to be replaced. I'm just going to hold down the boost function button, which is just there, and we'll go around and start the truck. So good. So I've just decided to pull the truck back into the shed. I've had it out of the shed because we took it away last weekend for Easter, and the boys are doing a bunch of work in here in the shed with the new mezzanine that's going up and the new sort of workshop area at the other end, which I'm going to give you a look at. But the light bar on the truck turned out absolutely sick. The brackets worked perfectly, so kind of fluked a bit of that with my measurements and stuff, but it actually worked out really well. And I'll give you a look at that here in a second on how the Baja Design's linkable turned out on the F truck. But yeah, got all the front bar sort of mocked up now, and the lights are all in place. Nothing's hooked up yet because we are going to take the truck down to Solve in Sydney and get those boys to do all the suspension work, do some wiring on the lights and bits and pieces, and just some other sort of things that I want to get those guys to do. But we'll do a little quick shed sort of walkthrough on what's going on in the new shop here. So this sort of back section of the shed here, the boys are fabricating up all these beams, getting these all lifted in place. So this whole area up here will be a mezzanine, and then underneath it here will be my workshop sort of working area. I'll have all my benches across this section here. The mezzanine will essentially come across to this beam here, through to this section here. And you already got the stairs in place there. Got to put some handrails on. But yeah, this whole area up here will be a mezzanine for me to be able to put things like the laser engraver, racking, storage, all the F-Tech merch, things like that. Have someone now to put all that sort of gear, parts and everything, spares for the F-Truck, all those sorts of things will then go up on the mezzanine. So it'll be heaps better. Heaps more room, more storage. So yeah, the boys are into fabricating all this stuff up at the moment and should be done here in the next couple of weeks. And I've also brought in the 78 truck. So I have posted this truck on the channel a long time ago when my channel was a lot smaller, but I brought this truck in from the other shed that I had where it was covered in camping gear and parts and all sorts of stuff. Cracked it out, got it back in here. It is unregoed. I was driving it a few years ago, but it started to develop a pretty bad knock in the front end. But I want to build this thing as a street legal pre-runner here in Australia. So probably put a Godzilla Ford engine in this thing, twin turbo or supercharge it or something pretty cool. Desolate Motorsports gear under this thing. Do fiberglass bed fenders and on the front and the rear, and do a full custom interior. So if you want to see this build, this is the holy grail build that I want to do. But I wanted to do this build once my channel got to about 100,000 subscribers. I want to build this truck. So like, subscribe, share this video with your friends, and let's get this thing built. But we need to get 100,000 subscribers, and I will start this project because this is going to be probably one of the most expensive projects I will ever build on my channel. But 78 F250 luxury pre-runner, road legal for Australia, would be absolutely sick. Got a bunch of memorabilia I've thrown up here in the shed as well. Bunch of my X-Fighters stuff. Big cat banner. Big Red Bull Straight Rhythm banner. Red Bull Signature Series. So the shed's kind of coming together slowly. So the Baja Design lights turned out absolutely epic with those custom billet brackets there on the end. And I'm super stoked with it, and it's super flush with the window as well, so it hasn't got like a bloody 4-inch gap between the window and the lights, which is what I wanted. I wanted it as tight as possible. And then on the back of that, you can actually adjust, just jump up here, on the back up here, you can adjust that foot there, which takes the center pressure off it, and that way it supports the whole light bar being that sort of distance across, which is awesome. But yeah, brackets turned out pretty sick. So hands down, one of the best supporters of the channel has been the Bush Company for years and years now. You know, I've always been running their gear, but Dean has sent me the new AX27. I haven't ran the big tent yet, so this is the big tent. And after spending the weekend in it, it was absolutely awesome. I've gone back to the 270-degree awning as well, just for that bit more coverage. And then we've also got their new shower tent. So I'm going to run you through all the suite of Bush Company gear that I've now put on the F-Truck and show you exactly how I've got it set up. So on the back of the F250, you know that I did do this back section here on the tray, but now I don't have the center section of the ladder to fold down. So the way that I'm getting around that for now is this step. I do have a hitch that I've bought that will step this up, allow me to tow the caravan, but also have a step there as well. So I'll have a step on the caravan if we're towing that, then another step up to here. If not, I can run the step just like this, and then also just put the back down, put the MITS alloy tray sides down, and then pretty much we just stand on that step, jump up into here, and can get up into the tent, which is pretty easy. So pretty straightforward sort of setup. Get straight up. So we'll open up the AX27 and let it air out, because it probably is still full of smoke from the fire over Easter. And we'll set up the 270 here in the shed, just because it is raining and it will not stop raining. And I really don't want to pack all this stuff up wet, so we're going to set up in the shed today. And then we'll also show you the new outhouse from the Bush Company. Car is covered in ash from the fire. So still a bit of work in progress inside the canopy here. But we do have the Bush Company outhouse that I do have set up inside the canopy door. I do have a video on me doing the last setup like this inside the canopy door, but now got the outhouse in here, and it's absolutely sick, the quality of this thing. This smells like it smells like smoke and fire. Look at the size of this thing. It's absolutely massive. So you've got the big rain fly. This thing is covered and stinks like smoke, but it's absolutely awesome, this tent. Again, this is my fourth Bush Company tent. Bush Company is always on point when it comes to quality, and that's why you see them on some of the best builds in the country. So this is the AX27. This is the big dog, and they have a bunch of different tents. I'll have links in the description if you want to check them out. But this tent, I'll bring you up here in a second and show you inside. This massive rain fly, like you can see now. You've got your storm flap hooks and stuff here on the back of the rain fly, but you've just got so much room here to stand on the tray. I'm loving this setup, and it's like you always think that you have your setup exactly how you want it until you then change it or see what someone else has done. And this to me now is what I should have done a long time ago. But again, we build things, we learn, we change, we modify, and your truck's never really ever finished. You're always changing things and modifying things. So, but I'll bring you up and show you inside the tent. Okay, welcome to the penthouse. Well, I rarely, I got to sleep in the tent. Whenever I go over by myself, I got to sleep in the tent, but my daughter has pretty much claimed the rooftop tent now. So when we take the caravan, I'm in the caravan. My daughter claims a rooftop tent all the time. She loves it. So this is her penthouse. She slept in this over Easter. She absolutely loved it, same as the other tent, but she loves now that this one's heaps higher and she has that extra headroom to be able to stand up and things like that in here. And just overall, just more room in general inside. She really liked it, especially with this big rain fly. So she could stand down here on this back section that I put on the tray, this standing area, and put her shoes on, things like that. Didn't have to worry about moving her shoes out of the rain because the rain fly actually covered that whole area. I've got 2 solar panels. I think these are 110s or 120s each. So yeah, so 240 watts or so of solar up here using the Bush Company brackets as well. These rails where you pot rivet your panels into them. You can adjust them forward and back. So yeah, but you can put surfboards up here. Got these tracks here on either side to be able to put anything you want up here on the roof, which is really nice. And then I've got the 270 XT Max awning mounted to the side of the tent using those brackets. And then I've got the step up bracket just here as well for putting the awning on, which just lifts this up from being down here on the side of the tent. Just lifts that up and gives you the clearance so you can bring your awning all the way around. So this is the AX27. You've got all those roof pockets up there. I do have the bracket up there already for the fan, which I've just got to put a fan in here. And then we've just got all the bedding. One thing I have mentioned to Dean is that we should actually get Bush Company bedding made. That's something that he should actually offer because it's so hard to find bedding for rooftop tents, regardless of what tent it is. So I think if the Bush Company, drop it in the comments if you think Dean from the Bush Company should make his own line of linen and bedding for the rooftop tent that actually is purposely built to fit the mattress and stuff. So, but it's all doubled up canvas as well. You've got pockets down here for water bottles and things. Then you've got that ventilation up there for condensation. You can take the whole rain fly off if you don't want that. Midgie mesh. You've got power outlets down the front there on either side of the tent, down there near the pockets. You just stick your hand down there. You've got USBs on both sides of the AX27, which is nice. Pockets up there for your phone. Roof's all carpeted. You've got a light up there as well, which is USB-C. And I've stuck an F-Tech patch up there, available on the website if you want one for the patches. But yeah, as good as ever, this tent. Absolutely loving the size of this rain fly. It's absolutely awesome. Look at the size of it. Absolutely huge. Righto, we'll jump down now and we'll go and look at the outhouse that Dino has now made, the new shower tent. Rightio, Bush Company outhouse. So you see a lot of shower tents mounted on the outside of vehicles. Like I think Metz do a swing away one that swings out and puts your tent out off to the side. This has been my favorite way to set up shower tents. Essentially, this is how I had my old one set up. My old one wasn't as bulky as the Bush Company one because everything about this is always over-engineered. And Dean just goes up and beyond to make sure this gear never fails. So this is a little bit bulkier than the old one I had in here, but it does just fit in the canopy door still, using the brackets that I've got. So I can take this out of the bag too if I opt to do that like my other one and just have it sort of in there like that. But the reason I keep the bag on this one is because if I wanted to pack the shower tent up wet, move camp and then unpack it, all the moisture is going to stay inside the bag until I get to the next camp to let it dry out. So I've got two straps on either side, like so. And then just rolls down like that, and then this arm flicks out this way. Again, same canvas that they use on the tents, very high quality canvas. This arm swings out this way, and then this one here swings out like this and then locks onto this bolt just up here, like so, just like that. And then this, you can use this as a door mechanism now to open it, just like that. So yeah, so you've got your magnetic latch just there, and then it just zips together here on the side, zips all the way down to the bottom. And that just undoes again, gain access. Very nice. And then inside here, you've got two mesh pockets on either side. And this is why I love this setup, because pull that down and then I've got access. I've got access right here to this shelf that's in the back. Set up my shower, towel, clothes, soaps, shampoos, whatever you want. And you just have all this here inside the canopy door. You've got your light for your canopy door already. You've got protection from the weather. Dean does have up in here, you can see that up there, this is the roof that pulls out and over that awning. So you can have that pulled out over this as well if you didn't have it in a canopy setup like I do. But I really like this setup. This has been my favorite way to set up my shower tents, is inside the canopy door like this. Just pro. It's not really too many cons. The only con is that you lose probably 6 inches of the tent protruding out this way, but there's so much room in here, it's great. So you can just see the quality of this thing. Just like all the Bush Company gear, it's absolutely awesome quality. And you can adjust the sides if you want to as well, just here. So you can adjust them up and down if you're, depending on the height of your truck. But absolutely works perfect. So you can see that because I put it in the canopy door, you can see that 6 inches or so that I lose because of the angle of the canopy door. A cool thing that I could have done is probably put some tracks and actually brought this out of the roof, but that's getting a bit technical for me. So I'd have to engineer some sort of custom bracket and everything that actually comes out. But this works fine. There's still so much room here to actually shower. But if I get time, I might actually do that, is design a custom bracket that actually protrudes it out. And then you can just latch it back in, similar to how drawers work with the side latches. One on each side, bang, pull it out. Comes out another 6 inches, 9 inches or so, and then lock it back in. But plenty of room here to have a shower. And then you just shut your door, magnetically closes, do your zipper up. Got some bungee cords down here on the base as well, if you want to tie them into the ground. That way it doesn't move anywhere. And there's like stiffener rods, stiffener poles inside these here as well. So yeah, that's the Bush Company outhouse. Put up the XT Max awning. section that comes around first. And I do have a clip up here on the tent, and then with the rear strap, Bush Company give you these little brackets here too. So just hook that onto there like that, and that keeps it like 90 degrees to the awning, which is handy. Nice and tight, and you're done. We'll pull tension back on there. So I always remember when I'm packing this up is to flip the canvas on this arm, flip it that way, and then all the back goes under that, and then the front comes back around over the top. Put nice and tight. Tight like a tiger. It just gives you a massive amount of coverage. So a huge amount of shade. Especially on an American truck. They're just the absolute best, these awnings. And you can attach walls to them as well. So I do have a Shady Gear wall. If you Google Shady Gear, they make like a mesh wall. I've got a mesh wall for it that'll cover this back sort of section here at the back of the truck. And then you're probably wondering, well, how do you get into your tent now? So what I do is I double up this and this one. So I put them together and I wrap the strap around the end of it and then pull it tight. So it pulls tight from this point here instead of pulling tight from this point here. And then that gives you access up into the tent as well. So if you've watched previous videos about the Bush Company stuff on the channel, you'll know that I did have the 180 before this, and I had the 180 because of that rear access thing that I was talking about back then. But now going to the 270, doing the double up method with this last sort of run here on the awning, gives me that extra bit of space at the front, at the rear, and I just do that double up method. And then if I'm at the beach and I'm not actually using the tent, or if I'm somewhere camping and I'm not actually using the tent, then I can just go fully wrap around, right around to the tent, tighten it up, and yeah, have all this extra space here at the back for the trundle drawer and things like that. So it's super handy, and to me, I've been running the Bush Company products for years and years now. Hands down, best on the market. You will not get better, and I haven't seen a better tent or awning or now even shower tent. The shower tent is on point. It's awesome too. So if you want that top tier level, yes, it's expensive. The Bush Company products are expensive, but if you look on the second-hand market, they do hold their value as well compared to other products on the market, other tents and things. So there is that resale value there with a Bush Company tent or awning or whatever it is that you buy from the Bush Company. There is always that higher resale value compared to other products that I've found on the market anyway. So if you want the highest quality gear, Bush Company hands down is the best. But next episode for the F truck, we're going to be going down to Solve Off-Road.
Okay, so we've got tyres, front coilovers out of the car, stripped down, and we're doing a bit of work on them, getting them cleaned up. One thing I wanted to note is, and show everybody what happens and explain the differences and why it happens.
We've got the suspension to do, we've got all the lights, the Baja lights to hook up. So I haven't done that yet. I've got to throw a couple of batteries under the bonnet of this thing because I am having to jump start it each time. But I didn't want to put those new batteries under the bonnet because it was going to be sitting while I was working on it, and I was just going to destroy 2 new batteries because there is 2 batteries under the bonnet of this thing. So I thought I'll wait till the truck's pretty much finished, and then I'll actually throw a new set of batteries in the truck to save them turning to crap over months and months of just the truck sort of sitting while I was working on it. So going down to Solve, going to get the new shocks fitted. I've got some leaf springs on order. Still deciding on a winch. Haven't come up with a winch plan at this stage. But yeah, next episode we'll be down at Solve, and those boys will be going to town on this thing and just getting all the last little things buttoned up. Doing a bit of programming and stuff. I've got some issues with the Cymarine system that I've had in this truck for a long time in the canopy with that power system. Contemplating putting some new batteries in the canopy and selling the Enerdrive ones that are in there now, but we'll see if those things eventuate. But yeah, so thanks for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, Really want to get to 100,000 subscribers and start that thing over there behind me. That is a build that I want to do, and potentially going to be very expensive to build that truck. So please like, subscribe on the channel, and let's get that thing built. It's going to be awesome. But I'll catch you guys in the next episode down at Solve, and we'll get the suspension fitted to this thing. It's going to be absolutely awesome. Can't wait. So catch us later.